Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shrute Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kreditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadyayini Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagah Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganah Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Hari Om. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has been talking about Atma Swarupa, the nature of the self, and how that Atma, the self, is different from the Anatma, the not self, the body-mind complex. And he pointed out that, and we have seen before, that Atma is Nitya, Satya, Sarvagata, and Aprameya, meaning that it is eternal, the reality, it's all pervading, and not an object of knowledge, Aprameya. And then Bhagavan went on to say, Yayenam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhautavuna vijanitah nayam hantina hanyate. Suppose somebody thinks that this Atma is a killer, meaning a karta, or somebody is thinking that Atma is killed, meaning it is a bhokta. So both of them do not know what the truth is, what the fact is. The fact is Atma does not kill, and it is not killed also. So the Atma is akarta abhokta. It's a non-doer, it's a non-experiencer. Okay. If Atma is akarta, doesn't do any karmas, free from all karmas. If karmas are not there, then there is no question of karma pala. And so, that Atma has no punarjanma. So it is said, Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavitavan bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatah ayam puranah na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Atma is never born. Forget about punarjanma, it was not born in the first place. Never born. And therefore, does not die also. Never ends its existence. Unborn, eternal, free from decay, ever new, not affected. Even if the body is affected, Atma does not get affected. Atma is nirvikara, changeless, free from modifications. Then, Veda vinashinam nityam yayenam ajam avyayam katam sapurusha partha kam gatayati hantikam. Whoever knows this Atma self to be this way, indestructible, eternal, unborn, inexhaustible, how can a man kill or cause others to kill? A beautiful example was also given. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. Just as a man throws away his worn-out clothes and puts on a new one, the embodied self casts off this worn-out body. The jiva continues its journey with a new body. Therefore, Atma is eternal. So we have seen this up to this so far in verse 22. So continuing with verse 23. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakah, nainam dahati pavakah, nachainam kledayantyapah, nachainam kledayantyapah, na shoshayati marutah, न शोषयति मारुतः नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः. This Atma is intimately associated with the body. It is the indweller of the body. Atma is all pervading. Of course, the body is in that Atma. So there is an intimate presence. And yet, Atma does not get destroyed by anything. Whereas the body is affected by everything in the creation. How is the body affected? The four elements can affect the body, except space, the other four elements. Vayu, Agni, Jalam and Prithvi. Air, fire, water, and earth can affect the body. See, the weapons are made out of one form of earth or the other. A nice sword made of iron and steel can cut the body. Water can wet and even drown the body. Fire can burn the body to ashes. Air can sweep across, toss us like anything. dry the body. So this body gets affected by all these four elements. None of them, however, can affect the Atma. Shastrani yenam na chindanti. Weapons do not cut it. Weapons cannot cut the Atma. As I said, the weapons represent the earth, the element earth, Prithvi. Pavakaha yenam na dahati. Pavaka, fire. Fire also cannot burn it. Apaha chayenam na kledayanti. Apaha, water. Water also cannot wet it. Finally, marutaha na shoshayati. Marutaha na shoshayati. Maruta, wind, cannot dry it. So we talk about four elements, but how about the fifth, subtlest of them all, space? Space being subtler than the other four grosser elements, they cannot affect space. Now, Atma is still subtler than space. So, how can space affect Atma? So, that also is not possible. So, how can any of the elements and everything in the world is made up of those elements only? They are further karyas of it. So, the bottom line is Atma is unaffected, untouched, uncontaminated, untainted by anything. So these are thus clarification of something what was said before. And he continues to again emphasize the same point in the next verse, verse 24. Achedyoyamadahyoyam Achedyoyamadahyoyam Akled Akledyoshosya evacha Akledyoshosya evacha Nitya sarvagatastanuhu Nitya sarvagatastanuhu Achaloyam sanatanaha Achaloyam sanatanaha Achedyoyamadahyoyam Akledyoshosya evacha Nitya sarvagatastanuhu Achaloyam sanatanaha. The first line is pretty much a repetition of the previous verse. The Atma is achedya, cannot be cut by weapons. Adahya, cannot be burnt by fire. Nor is it akledya, be drowned in water. Or ashoshya evacha, cannot be dried by air either. Therefore, the nature of Atma is nityaha, eternal. And remember, you should take Atma as I. Don't think of Atma as something third person. Atma is the self, that is you. So replace everything, Atma, by I. So you are immortal, I am immortal. So the bottom line is that you do not have to get immortality. Immortality is your own very nature. The innermost urge of everyone is, I should not disappear. And if we cannot get physically become immortal, we try to immortalize ourselves through other indirect methods. We give our names to our children or grandchildren. we donate to an institution and have a building named after us. That way our name lives on. We take photographs and hang them all over. If you are more popular, you can have a statue put up in a central location in the town. And even that, even if when they put up a statue, that doesn't stay there for long. I just read today, Lenin statue is coming down. The various USSR, Soviet Republic was there, and all the republics that are not part of the Soviet Republic anymore, when they were like that, in every country had their own, but now they come down. So Lenin statue, even that statue, it's not permanent. We try to. So mortality of other things we can accept, but I, as the body, am mortal. That we are not able to accept. The fact is that we are indeed immortal as Atma. If we have that understanding who we truly are, we are immortal. By our nature of being the Atma, we are naturally immortal. But what to do? We take ourselves to be the body. That's a problem. As Atma, I am Nitya, not bound by time. Sarvagataha, all pervading. So I'm not bound by space either. So I am beyond time and space. When I am beyond time, I'm changeless. Since I'm not bound by time, time cannot cause any change in me. Everything in the creation is tortured, tormented, bent, arrow-shaped by time. As a baby, we were all very nice, cute, bouncy, bubbly. Now I don't want anybody to look at me. I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror. Ravage of time. Texture, the color of the skin changes. Hair color changes. Sometimes hair is not there at all. All caused by time. If I am Nitya, eternal, immortal, time cannot bring about these changes in me. As the body, of course, I am subject to these changes. As the Atma, I am not subject to any change. Then I am Sthanuhu. Sthanuhu, ever the same. Sarvada Tishtati Sthanu is one of the names of Lord Shiva. Sthanuhu means firm, stable, without movement, like a pillar. Sthanu. Achalaha, I am not bound by space. Since I am not bound by time, I am avikari, changeless. Since I am not bound by space, I am movementless. Achalaha, I do not move. Only the entity that is limited by space can move from one place to another. So if I am all pervading, I am there everywhere. Where am I going to go from where to where? Achalaha. Now, Sthanuhu and Achalaha both seem to indicate lack of movement. There's a little difference. When you say Sthanuhu, something is in one place and it is not even swaying. Tall buildings are there. They are well grounded. But they sway with strong winds, possible. And they are built to withstand such movement structurally. Achalaha indicates it does not move from one place to another. Think of monkeys, how they just cannot stay in one place, constantly jumping around. So Atma does not do either, cannot move from one place to another because it is not limited by space, it's everywhere. And staying in one place, it doesn't, sway, dance around, doesn't do that also. Then you may say, you are moving about, I am moving. How can you say we, the Atma, does not move? Again, what moves is the limited body. Body moves. Who says body does not move? But we as the Atma, we don't move. As the body, we move in Atma. Atma is Sarvagata, it's everywhere. So even if the body moves, it is moving in Atma only. Atma is also Sanatanaha, ever fresh. Hinduism is called Sanatana Dharma. Hinduism is a word that was coined much later, after the British, derived from the word Sindhu, Indus River, and then they call it Hindu. But in earlier Shastra itself, Hinduism word is not even there. Anyway, the philosophy, the Sanatana Dharma, deals only with two main topics, Dharma and the other is Brahma. The earlier portion of the Vedas is about Dharma and the latter portion is about Brahma. The portion dealing with Dharma is religion. The portion dealing with Brahma is philosophy, spirituality. And Dharma and Brahma, both of them do not change. Values are ever the same. Non-violence, truthfulness are all values. They are all good for which century? Good for all centuries, forever. So Dharma is Sanatana. What about Brahma? Brahman also does not change. Therefore, Hinduism is called Sanatana Dharma. That which teaches the changeless values of life, that which teaches the changeless truth, reality, is Hinduism. Sanatana means ever fresh. That's why we are studying Gita even now. All other sciences, physics, chemistry, math, all those sciences constantly changing, new ideas, new theories are coming around. No, parents are not able to help their children with their math because they are studying new math. What is it that does not change? Dharma does not change. Brahma does not change. So Veda can never become obsolete. So Veda is Sanatana. Atma is Sanatana. Continuing. Avyaktoyamachintyoyam. Avyaktoyamachintyoyam. Avikaryoyamuchyate. Avikaryoyamuchyate. Tasmadevam viditvainam. Tasmadevam viditvainam. Nanushocitumarhasi. नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते Tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitum arhasi. So in this verse, Bhagavan concludes the Atma Swarupa discussion. So the main ideas are repeated. Avyaktaha ayam. This Atma is not available for perception by the sense organs. Vyakta means that which is available for sense organs that are perceptible. Avyakta, not available for that. The five sense organs cannot perceive this Atma. They can perceive the sense objects. The eyes can see form and color, the ear can hear sounds, the nose perceives smell and all that. Tongue can taste and the skin feels the touch. But how about the Atma? Beautiful verse in Kathopanishad. Atma is free from sound. Atma cannot be reached by sound, touch, form, taste, or all those do not belong to Atma, they belong to matter. Atma being non-matter can never be perceived. Therefore, Atma is avyaktaha. Consequently, achintaya ayam. This Atma is not available for even thinking about, conceiving. All our concepts are based on our perceptual knowledge. If we can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell, we can know something about that. When something is not available for such sensory perception, how can you think about it? Try to imagine something that is free from sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. You cannot. You will arrive at blankness. Mind cannot conceive such a thing. So Atma is something like that. So how can you think about Atma? Don't think. Then what is Atma? The thinker. It is never the thought, but ever the thinker. Never the object, ever the subject. Therefore, Atma is achintayah. Avikaryah ayam uchyate. Free from vikara. It is said to be changeless. Avyaktaha and Achintyaya were previously said as aprameya. Therefore, tasmat evam viditva yenam. Bhagavan now concludes, having known this way, I am this, the Atma. You are the Atma. Bhishma, Drona, and everyone are all Atma. You cannot kill. They cannot be killed. Then why do you cry? There's no need to cry and weep. Na anushochitum arhasi. You should not grieve over any person. Nobody deserves any grief. Of course, if you can help someone, do so. That's wonderful. You are not changing any facts by grieving. The mortal body is not going to come back by shedding tears. And the immortal self is never going to die. So where is the need to cry? Do not cry. Now, if we go back to verse 11, that's what was said there. Panditaha gatasun agatasuncha na anushochanti. The wise never grieve for the living or the dead. If you understand this fact, you are also wise. So grief is just a delusion. No reason to grieve. अत चैनं नित्यजातम् अत चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तहो तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि अत चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि. In these verses from 26, Bhagwan gives a hypothetical argument. Hypothetical argument. O Arjuna, suppose, just suppose, hypothetically speaking, let us say, we don't accept the Vedantic teaching. All that we have heard about in the last today and the last two lectures, all that we don't accept. We don't accept this Atma. So you may be believing that there is no such thing as Atma. Nobody has seen Atma. What are you talking about? And you yourself said Atma cannot be seen. Aprameya. So one may say that this Atma is just a figment of imagination. So if you were to think, hypothetically speaking only, if you were to think that way, actually many systems of philosophies are there that they do not accept these ideas, these concepts. And suppose you are one such. If you subscribe to such systems, okay, I tell you, you still should not get out of doing your duty. That doesn't give you an excuse to run away from the battlefield. And he gives the reason. So such arguments, this hypothetical argument in Sanskrit is called Abhyupetya Vada. Hypothetical argument. So he says, Atacha, then also, even if, suppose, manyase, you think or you believe that the Atma, meaning yourself, to be Nitya Jatam, born constantly. We said Atma is unborn, it is eternal and all that. But if you don't believe all that, and if you think you are born, you are constantly born. And also Nityam va Mritam, and constantly dying. I am born, I'll be here for a little while and I die. If you think that is what you are, this means when the body is born, Atma is born with it, and when the body is gone, Atma is gone. There is nothing permanent about this Atma. That is what you're thinking. For example, the Kshanika Vaga Buddhist, something like that. And the ideology of rank materialists, Charvaka. Suppose you do not accept Vedanta and subscribe to one of these philosophies, and you say that I am subject to birth and death, tata api, Even then, Hey Mahabaho, mighty arm, Tvam, you mighty arm, oh Arjuna, na evam shochitum arhasi. You still do not deserve to grieve. Arjuna, a great warrior, a decorated war hero, Mahabahu, crying like a baby or a woman, that is not becoming of you. Even women will say, we don't cry like that. You are not a pandita, giving lectures on compassion and kindness and doing the right thing and all that. You think you're so wise? Bhagwan gives a reason for his contention why death should not be a cause for sorrow. Very popular verse. Verse 27. Jatasya hi ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. Very important verse in which Bhagwan gives a very practical wisdom. You don't need to learn Vedanta. You don't have to believe in Atma. Just have some common sense. What is the common sense? Hey Arjuna, if you take that you are the body, because you don't believe in anything surviving, the mind or anything like that, you don't believe in a surviving Atma. And you just claim that you are the body. Fine. All right. Then you must know the nature of the body. Okay. I don't care if you think that you are the body, but you know what is the body's nature. That itself will give you some clarity. You know that this body is born on a particular date. Every one of us have a date of birth. And we celebrate that every year also. Birth anniversary. Body is born. From simple common sense, you also know. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Whatever is born, indeed, will have to die one day. Anything born is subject to death. Jatasya dhruvo mrityuhu. This is proved also by three pramanas. One is pratyaksha pramana, direct perception. You just read the daily obituary column in the newspaper. Every day, somebody or the other dies. So the body will die anyway. Not only pratyaksha, anumana, inference also tells me whatever has a beginning should necessarily have an end. Whatever is a product will have an end. It also tells me that the body will die. So if you're not convinced by perception and inference, scriptures also clearly say. Shastra also tells you anything that is born out of karma, good or bad, will have a beginning and an end. Body is born out of karma, And like in an oil lamp, when the oil is used up, the light of the lamp is gone. When the prarabdha karma is exhausted, life in the body goes away and the body perishes. So direct perception, inference, shastra, logic, everything. So Arjuna, this is the fact. Jatasya mrityuhu dhruvam. So think about it, contemplate on this fact, assimilate this fact. Generally, we are very good in applying this law with regard to others. When it comes to us, they are not that good. Anywhere else, death occurs. We are all great philosophers. And we say, what is born has to die. But when it occurs close to us, to our near and dear ones, we suffer. We are distraught. We cry. That means we have not assimilated this truth. Till assimilation takes place, it will only be a bookish academic knowledge. So Bhagavan says, Jatasya Vrityuhu Dhruvam. Dhruvam means definite. There's no denying that. Nobody can escape the death of the body. What to talk of you and I? Even when Bhagavan takes avatar, applies to that avatar also. Story is the same. Bhagavan Sri Rama had to leave this body. Sri Krishna has to drop his body. Same law applies to them also. We may change the words used to describe their arrival and departure. Nice sounding words we may use. Avatara, not birth. Going away also, not death. So physical body will go and it will have to go. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. The other side of the coin is also Dhruvam Janma Mritasya cha. Death is never the end of a jiva. This is unique to our religion, our philosophy. In other religions, after death, a person goes to a permanent heaven or permanent hell. In Hinduism, we say that death is never the end of the individual. He has rebirth also. That is why capital punishment is possible in Hinduism. Only the body is killed. The jiva survives and can take another birth and progress. Therefore, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Rebirth is there certainly. Therefore, what is the first lesson you have to learn in life? Accept life and death as an intrinsic part of it. Accept life and death as an intrinsic part of the jiva. Once you have learned to accept them, then there won't be any resistance towards them. Resistance is sorrow. So the first part, what is born dies, is easy to understand because we see that. The second part, what dies will be reborn. It's not so obvious. So we have to think a little bit about it and get convinced. Simple example underscores this point. Waves are born in the ocean, they die, but they come back. Again as another wave. This goes on and on. Physical body is the same way. It's born first, then it dies. it becomes dust, becomes the soil. In the soil, flowers grow, fruits grow, trees grow. The whole thing thus recycles. This is what is happening in the whole world. The dead body becomes manure for the soil. Then a tree, an apple tree is grown. And man eats that apple. And all biological processes are taking place. Man plants a seed in a woman, and then the new baby is born. Another body has come again. So the next line, Tasmat aparihar aryerte na tattvam shochitum arhasi. Very, very important. Apariharya artha means the inevitable, choiceless situation, incurable situation, remediless situation. Among all these terms, the most appropriate is probably choiceless. That means by using my effort, my will, my knowledge, or even through divine intervention, I will not be able to change the situation. We're not saying all situations are choiceless. We are not saying that. But there are some that are like that. So, with regard to choiceless situations, what should we do? The only intelligent thing to do in such situations is to accept the situation, not struggle to change it. One of the important lessons of the Gita is accepting choiceless situations. Accept with proper understanding, without murmuring, complaining, grumbling, grudgingly, crying, weeping, making yourself miserable, making other people miserable. Don't do that. Accept gracefully, with maturity. When I do not accept a choiceless situation, I become angry with everyone. Suppose someone says, I want to accept, but I'm not able to do. So what can I do? So the only remedy for that person, the advice for that person is prepare yourself. First, assimilate this fact by dwelling on this fact. In addition to that, take the help of the Lord, fill your heart with devotion for the Lord. The Lord is nothing other than your own higher potential, power, para prakriti. So praying to the Lord, I am tapping into my immune system, the psychological immune system, my own inner power, my own inner potential. So by wisdom, by surrender, strengthen the mind so that you can accept choiceless situations. See, we cannot change the past. And we cannot control the future. The present is already here. So the only thing is to act wisely now. Growing old, dying are all choiceless. The climate, the weather, people around us, so many other things. We do not have a choice. The situations where we can exercise choices are few and far in between. So the first and most important lesson we should learn in life is to learn to accept gracefully choiceless situations. Of course, there are certain situations we can alter. The Lord has given us free will. Certain diseases can be cured, others can be managed, while some others cannot be cured or managed. In those cases, you accept. What we encounter in life is also like that. Certain cases, we can change things, change and improve our lot. In other cases, we live with what is dealt. with some minor adjustments. In some difficult situation, we have to accept what we encounter and live peacefully. Tragedy is you do not know which is which. So a lot of patience and acceptance is needed. Bhagavan tells Arjuna, aparihat ye arte, under choiceless situations, tvam shochitum na arhasi. Do not grieve. If it is choiceful, if choices are there, exercise your choice. Tackle the problem. But if it is choiceless, accept. So your life is a series of actions and acceptances. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.